Bengals take on the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk about this and have Mike Daniels coming up next on the Wincinnati podcast.
It's an exciting time to be a Bengals fan.
I'm AC Zell.
We got a special show as always.
The voice of the Bengals.
Dan
Ford, Willie Anderson, Corey Dillon.
The name of this thing is called Wincinnati, and I'm not going to stop.
Talk to us about that roller coaster season.
I'm still going to give you the same AJ.
I'm going to work as hard as I can to be the best.
Always working ever since I met y'all, boy.
I got to get your top 5 receivers. Better, man.
Watch out for us.
Welcome to the Wincinnati podcast. I am Ace. He is Zelm. Zelm, how you doing tonight, fam?
I'm doing pretty good. We got the extra Uno Wings remix at the beginning. We going crazy in here already. So, yeah, I'm feeling good, man. We got
Is that a fresh lineup? Is that a fresh lineup, my boy?
Woo!
Ooh, that boy ready for AZ. You sliding out there, right? You going out to the desert?
I'm sliding. Hey, we on the deserts. We on the ACVs. We're going to go crazy. We're going to have fun. We're going to represent. I tried to rent a hot air balloon. They told me, sir, you're a little late for that. You need to book those in advance. So no hot air balloon, but we are going to be in the desert. It's supposed to be 100 degrees. I don't do that well. You know me. I told you about that Florida living. I say, bro, like now if it's dry heat, I think I'll be okay. But the humidity mixed with the heat, I cannot do.
The humidity is definitely different, but that dry heat is kind of, I think I had a little bit of that when I went to Vegas. It was like 98 degrees at like 9 o'clock at night. That was kind of crazy. But it should be a dope trip, man. Definitely hoping that you guys have are you going with your wife out there or the fam or?
Yeah, we're going with the fam, or at least my wife at least, and we're gonna link up with so many people out there. It's a lot of people traveling there. It's a lot of people that reached out to me.
Fans of Cincy out there.
Fans of Cincy, we got the best tailgate going on Sunday. So make sure y'all go and look at Fans of Cincy. One of the sponsors of our show does the best tailgates. All you can drink, all you can eat. We litty. There's actually a happy hour on Friday I'm supposed to go to. Don't know the location offhand, but if you hit me up or go look at Fans of Cincy, you'll see that. But we got a lot of good stuff planned, though. Like I said, we're going to hit the desert, four-wheelers up. We're going to go Houday out there. So wish me luck that I don't die of heat exhaustion. Aside from that, come back with a dub.
For sure. Well, today we're going to talk about a number of topics. Happy to be here with you guys. We're going to talk about injury updates. So we'll go through the Bengals injury report and kind of break those down. We'll also talk about Ja'Marr Chase having a chat with Zac Taylor. We'll get into that. And of course, we are going to preview the Bengals versus Cardinal games. We'll talk that. And then, of course, we're going to bring in our friend of the show, Mike Daniels.
Hey, what's up, Bengals fans? Mike here. I'm on the Wincinnati pod with Ace and Zim.
Injury report. The Bengals had some important guys on that report today, mainly Tee Higgins, who did not practice, hasn't practiced this entire week with the rib injury. What are you feeling about Tee Higgins? It doesn't seem like he's likely going to play in this game. I thought that he had a chance because he said he wanted to put the team on his back and do his thing. Did not practice Wednesday and Thursday, though. What are your thoughts on that?
I was going to ask you, what would you do? Let's say he is healthy enough to play. Do you think that Tee Higgins should play?
If he's healthy enough to play, I think that he should, because I think this is a must-win kind of situation, man. If he's healthy enough to play without, making the injury worse, sure, I think he should try to give it a go. But, as it's looking right now, I don't know, fam. What are you thinking?
I think right now, they're going to do what the Bengals generally do and just sit him out a week. I think they give him a little time to heal. I saw he was on the rehab field earlier, so Ja'Marr Chase had some words about that. He said, hey, look, if he wants to play, I'm rocking with him. If he wants to sit out, then, I'm rocking with him too. And he was like, he knows his body well enough. So I think, yes, it is a must win. I think about the Bengals, and I'm so sorry. I know people are going to kill me for saying this, but I've seen this team at 7-6. So even if they were to lose, even if whatever, you could think the worst case scenario, I just think that they're still up half, even with it, because the Bengals roster and the talent is there. They just got to get it clicking and get it together. And the Arizona Cardinals are not one of the better teams in the NFL. The Tennessee Titans, like, we'll look back at that game no matter what and just say, bro, we just gave up. Like, because them, like, they're not like that. And the Cardinals, I know that they're getting good publicity. I know things are going really well. I just don't think that it's just like when Jamar came back from the fractured hip last year. I just wouldn't, like they set him out that extra week. I would do the same thing with Tee Higgins.
Yeah, the other injury that's a little under the radar is Akeem Davis-Gaither one. He did not practice for 2 straight days. I know the Bengals ended up claiming a linebacker from the Cowboys off waivers. That's important because without having Akeem Davis-Gaither there, he is a guy that adds another dimension to that defense with his size and speed and coverage ability. Them not having him with this knee injury could be something to look at. What are your thoughts on no ADG being there possibly?
I think they'll be fine. I mean, what's the snap count on ADG in the last game? I think they'll be fine in that one. The one that I was looking at more so, and he's not listed on there, or he's still on there. Yeah, it's Orlando. CTB went full.
CTB, says that he was limited. It says that he was limited today.
Okay, even if he was, he went through it. Afterwards, he talked to the reporters and he said, it went pretty well for a full padded practice. That bodes really well for if you're practicing like with full pads on Thursday.
It looks like it's a concussion injury. So I don't know, like, was he clear from concussion protocol or?
I think he's still in the protocol, but to have him advance, that would mean he has no sensitivity to light. That would mean that things are working and they're on the up and up. Regardless if he plays or not, he's in a better spot than a lot of guys that do suffer concussions, that they're just like, clearly this guy isn't ready to go out there. So that's really well. And I thought he was going through drills with all the rest of the guys, like a Woozier, Mike Hilton. I saw him doing a bunch of stuff with them. So generally, if you had a concussion, you wouldn't be doing that. So that looks good. The one I was kind of looking at, and I think he plays, is Orlando Brown. I thought that was the major one for me. The groin injury, a lot like calves and hamstring, they can kind of linger on. So I don't know if they go the cautious route with that one too. Who plays left tackle? Is that Deontay Smith?
I mean, let's just hope that it is Orlando, man. If he went through, a full practice today, so I think if he went through full after being limited, I think he's good to go. But speaking of having someone go through a full and get upgraded, Irv Smith is expected to be back this week. I think that helps the offense out a little bit. We kind of talked about the speed and athleticism. A lot of that is lacking outside of Jamar Chase. With a guy like Tee Higgins being out, maybe this is a game where Irv Smith can add to that wide receiver core, especially when they go out in these shotgun formations. We kind of talked about the blitz coming last week by the Titans. Now you got a guy like Irv Smith that can be a hot read. He might be able to help this offense out in particular. What are your thoughts on Irv Smith returning to the lineup?
I think that I think he's a guy. I thought that he got off to a little bit of a rough spot. And I think if he would have made that catch on the sideline, the fan perspective might have been a little different on him. But me and you were talking at the week when I was like, bro, he looked so slow at week one. I don't know if it was just rusty or whatever. He's just smaller. He looked slow. Like, I just like, this is not it. Like, opposed to Hayden Hurst, they used to come out there with the crop shirt, abs all out, looking like some Ultimate Warrior or something. Like, hold up, bro, what's going on? So I still believe in Irv. I talked to Irv this past week too and had some really good encouraging words for him or whatever. And I thought like he's in a good spot, and I think he knows that he's got to be patient because it's a long season. And I think Irv can contribute to this team a lot. I thought a lot of those like seam passes, like the one that Burrow barely missed on Tyler Boyd, I expect Irv to run that all day. And then him carrying the tight end with him, the difference is you probably won't have that safety over the top 9 times out of 10, depending on the play call. So I look for a lot of that for me.
For sure. No, I agree with you. Hopefully Irv can help move the needle this week against the Cardinals for sure. But let's talk about another thing that was kind of coming up today is Jamar Chase's combo with Zach. He got caught in Zach's office. He thought it was going to be a bad thing. He says that Zach was fired up, thought that it was a dope interview. I don't know. Like, I would think that it would have been like Jamar, I'm like, oh man, did I say too much or something like that? But I think that is dope that Zac kind of supported him. I thought that it was dope that they were able to kind of talk through that. Who knows how the rest of the conversation went? But I thought that that was dope with Zac Taylor trying to connect with the players, saying that he's always open. So hopefully they were able to brainstorm some things in that office to figure out, okay, how can we get you open, Jamar? If you feel like you're open all of the time or you can do something like that, how can we scheme to best meet that need that you're having in terms of, getting open? What were your thoughts on the convo with Zac?
I mean, Zac has had some moments here as a Bengals coach that remember, like the when they ran up the score on the Ravens. It was like, you damn right we're not apologizing for it. And, like he's had some moments that I'd be like, all right, Zac, okay, Zac, so he got to be relatable with these guys. And even if he's never going to be this supreme, remember he's young, and I don't know, most coaches don't get that much time, so I could say that all I want, but he may never get it. Like I feel like his feel for the game isn't that great. But one thing I can say is always been really good with the players, and the players really respect him on like a personable level, and they don't feel like he's like using them or exhausting all of their, or exploiting injuries and things like that. So I thought it was good to see Zac have Jamar's back.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty dope too, man. I mean, those two guys getting on the same page is always dope. I thought it was interesting because I don't think you ever really see like a coach say great interview when they've like listened to players and stuff like that. So
Great effing interview.
Great effing interview. And Zac Taylor doesn't use language like that. So that was dope to kind of see that happen there. But shifting gears, let's get into a little bit of the game preview, right? Like we're going to start on the Bengals offensive side of the ball versus Cardinals defense. This is a Cardinals defense where they run the 3-4. They run mostly a zone scheme 64% of the time. A lot of their sacks have come from those linebackers. They like to use some of those exotic blitzes. But this is a Cardinals team that most people thought before the season started were kind of on, the Caleb Williams train. Now, I'm not going to minimize them to that. I'm just saying that that's where people thought that they were. They have clearly exceeded those expectations, beating the Cowboys and sticking in with a lot of these different teams. But when you look at the defense, you've got Keitrell Clark, a guy that the Bengals were kind of linked to throughout the process. You also kind of talk about Thompson, the safety there, Jalen Thompson. They also have Kayvon Wallace, also have Marco Wilson at the corner spot. So not too many like household names that you might know. Like Xavier Collins might be the name that sticks out the most on this defense. From a Bengals perspective, this is a team that is allowing wide receivers to do their thing and also the run game. So then what would your strategy be against this Cardinals defense in terms of what this Bengals offense can do to hurt them in this game?
If I'm the Cardinals, I'm having successful first downs. I thought that was something that the Titans did really well. The Ravens and the Rams, they both had their struggles on third down. The Titans set themselves up all game with these crucial first downs. The Cardinals, just so we know, 8 rushes of 20 yards or more lead the NFL as of last week. I don't know if that changed after this past week. Also, James Conner forced 9 missed tackles just against the Giants alone.
The Cardinals defense. The Cardinals defense.
Oh, sorry about that. I was going up on my the Cardinals defense. I think that they need to make sure that they don't let their cornerbacks get exploited. That's one. They're in a 2-year window, I think, with Gannon to say we're going to do this and we're going to do that. That the weakness on their team is the cornerback position. We've seen that a lot, but a lot of teams, just like the one that we just faced last week, you can't really exploit them if the pressure's getting there. So if I'm the Cardinals, I'm dialing it up. Just like everybody else. You got.
But if you're the Bengals, what are you doing to them? Like, are you dialing up Jamar Chase against them? Are you spreading it out? Like, how would you attack this Cardinals defense?
The Bengals need to try to do what they, they need to try to impose their will. They need to run the football. We know that. And then going off of that, then you're trying to exploit like these matchups. You're trying to exploit the cornerback matchups for the Cardinals, but it's tough when you're not able to get the plays off like in enough time. So the Bengals offensively need to stay ahead of the chains, get themselves in favorable second down. So then all the stuff that you want to do with Chase is open to them, and then you can exploit the secondary of the Cardinals. If you don't do that and you get yourself in third and long and distance, just like everybody else, they're going to go after Shiesty because they know that he's not Shiesty and he's not running.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a situation where, I was watching a video from Tony Pike earlier, and he kind of showed some video of what Aaron Rodgers did in Green Bay in 2014 with the tear in the calf and the calf strain. And the first thing that he mentioned is they came out and they ran it like 8 straight times. That's something, like you just said, the Bengals need to do. They need to run this rock with Joe Mixon. This is a defense that's allowing over 4 yards per carry. The Bengals have been able to successfully run the ball with Joe Mixon. So there's that from that perspective. I think also making sure that you don't make your offense too predictable for the defense. He also kind of pointed out in that video that there were situations where the Bengals receivers weren't open, and Joe Burrow essentially is just sitting there with no reads, has to sit there and wait for that pressure to end up hitting them. The concepts just have to work. The offensive line, if you have 8 guys in max protect, you got to make sure that one of those receivers are going to be open and that the numbers are not in the Cardinals' favor where they can have 5 guys guarding 2 receivers or 2 pass catchers. You got to make sure that your hot reads are better. But I think, like you said, it's all contingent on Mixon. Mixon is going to open it up, and Tony Pike kind of showed that in his video. He showed that with the Packers running the ball, it opened up the options that they could run later. And just because you have a quarterback that is immobile, it doesn't mean that you can't go out of empty. He actually showed how the run set up the empty plays that they were able to use. I think if the Bengals can do that against this Arizona defense, I think that should help them out a lot. And this is a secondary, as Zim mentioned, that isn't the strongest. You look at the corners, you got a rookie there. You look at Marco Wilson, he's a young corner, not having the best season. He's not horrible, but he's not a household name either. And then you got Kayvon Wallace at safety. Those are some guys that you could possibly take advantage of, especially through the air. We talked about how they've been giving it up to the receivers. That's another aspect where you could attack them. And I think just in the trenches,
they've
man.
Been giving up for the run. They've been giving up the running backs as well.
Yeah, the running backs are getting it. Yeah, they pretty much are giving it up. They'll let you score on them. They'll let you get yardage on them. This could be, I don't want to say it's a get-right game, but this is an opportunity where the Bengals could try to take advantage of that team. Is there anything that you wanted to say more about the Cardinals defense? I know you had some things to say about the Cardinals offense, so we can get into that if you like.
I was just saying the Cardinals. I was saying in the run game. I know like they're just coming off a game where Christian McCaffrey is an MVP candidate. I get it. 4 total touchdowns, 160 rushing yards, 71 receiving yards. He had 5.3 yards per attempt, 10.1 yards per catch. So from the running back position, I would love the Bengals to be able to attack that. And I think that the Cardinals defenses, they can get that up too. It's just a matter of the Bengals staying on the field. If the Bengals could control the time of possession, I think they can have their way with the Cardinals defense. If not, we're going to go to the offensive side of the ball, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think on the offensive side of the ball, this is a team that you mentioned with James Conner, Hollywood Brown, a guy that's kind of under the radar, Michael Wilson. He kind of exploded for them the last couple of weeks, and then you also had Zach Ertz as well. So they've got some guys on offense where they can do some things. And Josh Dobbs is playing at a pretty solid level right now. He's actually one of the hardest people to sack right now in the league, which is a little crazy to say. But, he's
got some crazy breakaway.
For sure. Not someone that this Bengals defense can sleep on. I mean, I slept on Ryan Tannehill last week. We saw how that ended up playing out. So not a team that you can really sleep on from an offensive perspective. I think when it comes to Hollywood, there's been a lot of receivers that have run reverses that have kind of been in that mode that have hurt the Bengals on deep passes and stuff like that. Hollywood Brown is a guy that you have to limit in this game. You got to get those communications working right on the back end and not let him beat you. And I think that you're going to also talk a little bit about James Conner. That's a guy that they got to try to neutralize a little bit. Who are some of the guys that you feel like we can try to slow down or try to prevent this Cardinals offense from having success?
I thought you were talking about the kid Wilson. I thought he's been kind of under the radar. I thought Dobbs was talking about him too, and just saying like when he first got there, he thought he was like a second or third receiver, and he didn't think that he had the capabilities of what he had. And he had some really good things to say about him at a press conference. Marquise Brown, we know him very well. Always the speed threat, but James Conner has been one of the most efficient runners in the NFL. The Cardinals currently right now have the 5th ranked offensive run game in the NFL by PFF standards and a whole bunch of other metrics as well too. So I think what they want to do is be able to run the football. Josh, I'm sorry, Josh Dobbs. What's his name?
Joshua Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs. I was mixing it up with Romeo Dobbs. I want to make sure I didn't get his name incorrect. But yeah, Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs has been hard to take down. He's been running around like crazy, improvising and doing a lot, averaging like 30-something, 40 yards a game. So getting him down on the ground is going to be very important. He's got a very deceptive speed to him. There's been a bunch of times where it looks like he's bottled up in the pocket. He breaks out of it, primarily goes off to the right, but he does that a lot. And he's such a long strider. He's got long legs. It doesn't look like he's running that fast, but he's running away from guys, kind of like on some shicey stuff, kind of around that same speed level. And he can get away from guys. So that's something like super problematic. But I think if the Bengals can do it, and this is every single week for them, if the Bengals can get them in a position where they're playing from behind and I'm forcing this guy to throw, it just works for everybody in the league, as we've seen with Pat Mahomes. If they're throwing the football, it works to the advantage of Lou Anarumo. You have to take care of business on first down. Anytime there's a penalty or a negative yard per play or whatever at the beginning of a series, the Bengals always get teams off the field like that. And the teams that had success on first down, like the Titans did, Titans went 0 for 3 on the first 3 downs. Then after that, they come back 6 for 6 on the next 3rd downs, all predicated on having success in the run game on 1st and 2nd down.
Yeah, I think the big key is definitely slowing down Joshua Dobbs, who was able to really do his thing, especially without them having Kyler Murray. I don't know how much film they have on him. Seems like Zach is very familiar with Josh Dobbs. Slowing down that offense could definitely help our offense out. So hopefully the defense is there and does their thing. I want to get into some over-unders. I know that we kind of do this weekly. So in the spirit of Sova, I wanted to do some over-unders. And shout out to Sova, man. Just got a good position with TMZ Sports. Shout out to him, the great producer. But let's get into some of these over-unders here. I got some for you here, Zim. Over or under Joe Mixon, 80 rushing yards?
I'm going to take the over on this one. I think that the Cardinals defense is going to give it up, like you said earlier. I'm gonna take the over on that one. I think Zach is finally going to maybe listen a little bit. Maybe I'm just trying to speak it into existence, even though we know that when Burrow starts cooking, Zach gonna be like, throw that ball. I don't care if you're running for 7 yards a carry and a half. We do not care. But I'm gonna take the over on that one. I got one for you on James Conner after you tell me what's the over or under on Mixon for you, or over under 80 yards.
I think I'm going to take the over too. You kind of mentioned the game that Christian McCaffrey had against them, which was insane. Joe Mixon, I think, is a very talented back, was a part of that draft class with McCaffrey, one of the top backs in that class. He's a guy that can also do some things, not only in the run game and the passing game, but I think on the ground, I think he's going to have success. We've seen Joe Mixon running with a purpose this season. He could have had 80 yards last week in probably the first half if they just gave him 2 more carries. And that's against the Titans' vaunted rush defense. So I definitely think 80 yards is definitely attainable for him.
Bro, Joe Mixon should have walked out of that game with 140, 150, easy. The way he was running in that game, even if the Bengals would have lost, I just felt that way. I'm going to go James Conner over under 1 touchdown. What you got on that one?
Man, this one is James Conner has 2 touchdowns, I believe, on the season right now. The Bengals' run defense hasn't been great. I'm gonna take the no, hold on. So that would mean he would get more than one touchdown. I'm gonna take the under, man. I'm gonna take the under. Um,
Yeah,
under
you
one
make a good
touchdown.
point. I was about to jump on the over like crazy. Yeah, I can't. I was
He
about to
could
say I
get
can't.
it. It's tricky though because you could have something where it's like a fumble or a deep bomb. He's down on the 2 yard line. He's just
Now is
walking
is
in.
is this overall over under? Because I can see him catching the pass. I could see James Conner getting 2 tutties, but
I
maybe
could
like
see
one
it. I
rushing,
feel
one
like he could
receiving.
get two too, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he could. The Bengals could still win the game with him
Damn,
getting
we
two.
that's crazy to me because you know that this game opened. We're not going to do this one, but this game when the schedules were released, the Bengals were 9.5 point favorite. They're now down to a 3, I think 3.5. Some books even have it at 3 at home, which
Yeah,
is sort of a. I mean, I'm sorry, we're on the road. I ain't tripping.
on the
All
road.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, we're on the road, but still, that's just so crazy. Like this is the Bengals before the season had an 82% chance of making the playoffs. They're down to a 31% on PFF and a 9% by most books. Currently, right now, they have even the Bengals at like 8 wins or 7.8. Next
man.
one, Jamar. Yeah, this is a quick fall from grace 4 weeks later. Jamar Chase over or under 10 targets. I'm going to take the over on that one. Easy.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on the over, man. They got to get Jamar Chase involved. I know we're saying that they have to run the ball, but I think that you can run the ball and you can also give Jamar Chase 10 targets, especially with Tee Higgins possibly being out in this situation. You got to find a way to get him the ball. Him going into Zach's office, I feel like there's got to be a big Jamar game incoming. Here's another interesting one, though, Zim. Bengals defense over or under 23 points allowed.
I'm going to take the under on this one. I just can't see a performance. It's all about the offense. You were saying this like earlier in the season too. I just can't see them whiffing out like that again. I think even with
Yeah.
Tee Higgins not being there, I think it also might force them to be a little bit more creative. And I just don't think that they're going to give the Cardinals that many chances to go get it. Like even when they were up on the Cowboys, I remember that game. It was like 12-3, like in the third. Like it was like the Cardinals were just doing what they had to do to go make that upset. And I just think that I just can't see them running it up on us like that. Like that Titans game should have never been 27, bro.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you on that. I think after being embarrassed last week, I think there's going to be a lot of tightening up, no pun intended, on the defense. And, there were a lot of missed tackles, a lot of sloppy things that we saw last week. I think you'll see those get cleaned up for sure this week, especially with Lou and his unit. I don't think that they can go into this game again and give a performance like that. And I think that this defense knows with Joe Burrow and the calf, with them being on the road, I think that they know that they have to make the most of whatever it is, whether it's a 3 and out, which is crazy to say. The Cardinals offense is one of the best teams in the NFL offensively at avoiding 3 and outs. It's kind of crazy to hear, but they've got to get them out on 3 and outs. They got to try to get some of those turnovers. They have to try to limit this team and do their thing. So we will see how that ends up working out. But let's talk about, I guess, some fantasy performances, man. Like before we bring in our guest, Mike Daniels, let's talk a little bit about some of the fantasy performances. Who are you starting this week for the Bengals, man?
For the Bengals, I'm starting Joe Mixon. Remember last week I said don't. This week I'm going Joe Mixon for sure. Who you got?
Man, I don't want to, just for the sake of the show, obviously, I think Joe Mixon is a great decision to start. I'm going to go and say Jamar Chase, man. I think Jamar Chase is a good person to start this week. You know that he's going to get those opportunities. He just met with Zach, could be in for a big game, especially with Tee Higgins being out. I think I would go there. In terms of who are you sitting? Are you sitting someone on the Cardinal side or are you sitting somebody on the Bengal side?
I'm going to sit. On the bank, you go first. All right, so I started mixing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna sit it now. It depends what kind of league you're in. I'm gonna sit Burrow only on the strength of.
Okay.
I'm only gonna sit him because I feel like the emphasis on the run game has to be there right there. I just can't see. I mean, Shiesty could go for 220, 240, 2 tutties, and that's a great game. But from like a big impact standpoint, I don't know from a scoring impact that would do for your fantasy team.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. In terms of a sleeper, I'm gonna take Irv Smith, man. I'm gonna take Irv Smith. How you feeling about your sleeper?
On a sleeper, I'm a give me Yoshavas. I think that no Tee Higgins, Andre Yoshavas, maybe Yoshi gets 3-4 catches, gives you about 60, 80 yards or something like that. But give me Yoshi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the moment that you all have been waiting for, we have a special guest, friend of the show, bringing in Mike Daniels. What's happening, Mike?
Yo, what's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. We good.
Yeah. What's happening, fellas? Who They Nation? What's good, baby?
What's going on, man? How you doing? I haven't talked to you in some time. You hype? You ready? You feeling good? You're looking healthy as hell. Let me ask you, have you been doing pod? Remember the first time I saw you on a pod and you was on there with your boy? I forgot his name and you was crazy on there. Like, you still been doing that?
Yeah, you know what, man? I haven't really gotten into much of it yet, man. I'm in a group chat with a bunch of my boys from out here in Jersey, and they talking some football stuff already. So I'm like, yo, when we gonna just get this pod thing kicked off, man? Let's stop playing around. You know what I mean? So I got a couple people want me to guest star on their show and whatnot. And I'm like, before I go into anything, let me holler at my boys over at Wincinnati, man. You know, I was here but I don't even know if I was here for a full 2 years. But the way Who They Nation accepted me as one of theirs, bro, I'm like, bro, listen, I'm a Packer for life first, no doubt. Play with the Lions, but bro, I'm a Bengal for life too, baby. Because the way that the fans and the team and the organization and like the way you guys took me in, bro, you would have thought I played here as long as I played in Green Bay.
For sure, man. We got to get your expertise, man, because
okay,
you did your thing in the league. The Bengals defense, man, you played with them dudes. You played under Lou. What is going on, bro? Because it's like they had a historic game, it seems like, the week prior, and then this recent performance, everything was just all over the place. It didn't seem like the same team.
So the way that, so I'll just talk about more about just it's the same team. It's the same guys, right? A big thing that nobody's really talking about, and I keep my ear to the streets. I was like that when I was a player. I was like that before I played. I'm like that now. That ain't never going to change. But the big thing nobody's speaking about is the loss of Jesse Bates and Von Bell. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, those were two of the most important people on that team, not the defense, on that team. You see what I'm saying? And when you lose that type of veteran presence in your middle, bro, that can throw off so much in so many different areas. Mike Hilton and Tito, they still who they are. They're still them. They still doing what they do. But dang, it's a lot harder when you don't have that veteran presence in the middle. And I'm not saying the guys there now can't do it. But when we lost Charles Woodson,
right,
that's why we ended up drafting HaHa Clinton Dix 2 years later. And then a bunch of DBs after that. They've been chasing Charles Woodson ever since. And now they got Jair Alexander. But look how long it took for them to get that. See what I'm saying? So when you have a dominant defensive back, it's hard to replace that, quite frankly. I go back and look for another veteran to get in free agency. I mean, losing Mike Thomas, he was a special teams ace, no question, but dang, he's a DB first.
Yeah.
He knows what it looks like. He was on elite defenses. See what I'm saying? So, like, that's hard to replace. You know what I mean? And I think that veteran presence, man, is so. Can I rant real quick? Real quick. Okay.
Hey, Cook, let's go.
Listen.
Go.
Some of the most integral parts on the team for the Super Bowl run was in that locker room, right? Think about the vets they bought in during Zac's tenure. Okay, DJ Reader, Von Bell. They brought me in. Then they got Quentin Spain in the middle of the season. They got Xavier Suafilo in the beginning, right? Then the next year they bought in Riley Reef. See what I mean? So then Mike Thomas, bruh. What I don't know what I count, like 7, 6 guys. That's a thick veteran presence of guys who've been there. Guys who've been there. I was watching an old game of 2012 from my rookie year when we played the 49ers in the playoffs. I seen Mike Thomas on the side. I took a picture, I sent it to him like, yo, bro, listen, we've been doing this for a minute. We've been in playoff games for a minute. Riley Reef was a former first-round pick. You see what I'm saying? Xavier Suafilo, he was there. You know what I mean? He played in Dallas on them great old lines, bro. Like, Quentin Spain is a dog, bro. Von was with Sean Payton. You get what I'm saying? And DJ Reader, he played on great defenses, bro. Like, when you bring that type of veteran presence, that's hard to replace. See what I mean? Yo, Mix, Hubbard, even Burrow, Chase, great players, great guys. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they don't know what it means to be the top dog at the NFL level. All of us have been the top dog at the NFL level. We know what it's like to have guys shooting at the target at our back. When I was on Green Bay, bro, every game was a Super Bowl game, period. And now these guys are experiencing that, and they weren't, I don't know how prepared they were to like, yo, you guys are no longer the underdog. You're the team everybody wants to beat now. I promise you, I said that after a Super Bowl practice one time. And you can hear a pin drop because it never occurred to them like, oh, shoot. We actually do got the respect now. Because I said to them, yo, guys, listen, winning is great, but there's nothing better than beating a team who you know prepared for you all off season. And you still wax that at. Bro, ain't nothing like that. That's a great feeling. That's a great feeling. You see what I'm saying? And there's a lot of teams that have them not just circle, but triple circle with red ink. Case in point, the Titans. Case in point, the Ravens. Bro, think about it. Lamar hasn't been healthy.
Right.
That Super Bowl year, Lamar wasn't healthy. Last year, Lamar wasn't healthy. You think the Ravens ain't been wanting to get back at us?
Right.
You think the Titans ain't want to get back at us?
Oh, I know. We had that conversation. I said, bro, what did he? I told you, Mike, I said, man, I literally will be like, man, I had a great snack earlier today. They'd be like, yeah, what's up with week? Da-da-da, like out of nowhere. And I'd be like, where did all these people come from? One of my boys that was a Titans fan before the game that I was telling you this, that morning text me, it was like, yeah, I had this game circled. I was like, the Titans?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so like that's a thing. And I thought like this week, I don't know if you saw like Tyler Boyd's message where he said this, I think yesterday or today. He said it's a lot of people that's gonna be telling us, you know, they sorry like later on. I'm paraphrasing, but like later on, they're gonna kind of, you know, come back and be singing our praises later. And my thought process was, I do believe him, but I just hope that none of the players just think because they're so good, like because they are really talented, like all the way through the top 5 roster, in my opinion. But I hope that the players just don't think that, oh yeah, eventually it'll come through. Like you gotta go and take it.
No.
Like what is the message you would say to them at that point right there, where you're just like this isn't promised?
Yo, it'd be so. When that Super Bowl year, right? They cut me, bought me back, and Zach said, listen, I want you here because you're so important to this locker room. You're so important. And every game, they have me gave the pregame speech. Every game. At one point, I told Sam Harper, I said, Sam, I'm not playing. I don't feel right addressing the team, bro. If I'm not playing, I ain't going to talk, dog. I'm not doing that. But it was like, Mike, you are an emotional leader, bro. And you saw that, bro. They bought me back for the Rookie Talent Show last year.
Right.
And what that's telling me is that they understand, yo, there's a veteran presence that we're not having right now, right? That's why I said, I told you this on the phone the other day. DJ Reader is the most important person on that team. On that team right now. He is the most protect DJ at all costs. If you don't sign DJ back, it's going to be a long next couple years. I ain't going to lie to you. DJ Reader is the most important person on that team. Period. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
even if Joe and them was throwing up the points, what's going to happen if your middle ain't short up on defense? Uh-oh. Now it's a shootout every game. So my message will be the same message we get. So it will be similar, right? Because during the Super Bowl year, like I said, there was a lot of counseling going on behind the scenes, bro. Spain, Xavier, man, Reef, myself, Mike Thomas, Trey Hopkins. Like, a lot of us were doing a lot of talking behind the scenes, bro. I was damn near a coach at every game, bro. You see what I'm saying? And that veteran presence, because you figure you lose AJ Green and Geno Atkins and Sean Williams and Carlos, bro, at the end of the day, that was the nucleus. Those were the vets. They were going. Now you're relying on young guys who just got here to step up. See what I'm saying? Yo, and Tyler Boyd is a leader, but it's kind of tough to lead when you're considered. I don't believe this, but he's considered to the outside world. Oh, he's just number 3. Tyler Boyd is a number 1, number 2 on a lot of teams. Okay. See what I'm saying? But he gets lost in the shuffle of the Joe Shiesty, the Jamar, and the Higgins, and even to some degree Mixon. But him and Mixon get it. But it's hard when you got young guys that got so much success. I'm not saying they ain't listening. I'm just saying it's a little different. See, I was 10 years in. Practice squad or not, they had to listen to me. See what I'm saying? I'm not saying they're not listening to them guys. I'm just saying it's a lot harder because you might get young guys come in and be like, yo, you're not Jamar Chase. Yo, you're not Burrow. Because the young guys, they don't know the pedigree of them dudes. They don't know them dudes have been around. They don't know that Tyler Boyd was there for that loss against the Steelers, bro, in the playoffs. They don't know that. They don't know the wisdom these guys possess. They just see what's hot. Oh, these are the gritty guys. I'm going to listen to them. And I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying I've been around long enough that I know that that's a thing that young guys got to look past their head. Like, yo, I hear you, but I want to hear from him because that's the guy I was using on Madden when I was in college, when I was in high school. You see what I'm saying? See, when your big guys are the vets, like I said, on the other side of the ball, you know who the most important guy is next to Joe? Karras, Brown. Karras was with the Patriots. Brown was with the Chiefs. They know what it's like to have the target on their back. And that would be my message on the team. Because towards the end of the year, I let the guys know in the pregame speech, guys, we're the target now. They want to beat us now. See what I'm saying? We caught a bunch of people slipping. Now people are like, yo, nah, we got to take the Bengals seriously. And that's what you're seeing every game, bro. Why is Jamar not having big plays? Because they're smart enough, right? Think about the Chiefs game when we beat them to go to the playoffs. Think about this in the Super Bowl run, right? Jamar was cooking. He had like 200 yards or something, like 2 tutties. He was going crazy. It was 3rd and like 29. Why the hell would you leave him one-on-one? Because, oh, he's a rookie. You better cover him. Now, who's going to do that again? Nobody.
No way.
No. Do you see what I'm saying? We can't get away with that type of stuff no more, bro.
But that's where the other guys, though, like the Tyler Boyds of the world, the Joe Mixons of the world, can feast in those same opportunities because they're not going to be on teams ever again where you have so much attention on some of the other players. And I feel like to me, the whole Jamar Chase experience is all about opportunities. Jamar Chase could have gone anywhere and got 1,500 yards anywhere. But the fact that he's on a team with all those other weapons, a DJ Reader on the other end of, you know what I'm saying? He could have went to a bad team and put up numbers and would have been like, oh man, he's crazy. But it's all about that opportunity and freeing up those other guys and making sure the guys like Karras and all those guys block it up front. And then you got these one-on-one opportunities for Tyler Boyd, Yoshi, Charlie Jones is on IR, right. But like some of the young dudes. And to me, that's where we could feast at.
So we know what it's like to be little brother, right? My bad. You had something to say, dog?
Nah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. We know what it's like to be little brother, right? To be the young bull, right? And I didn't experience that until I got to Detroit. And when we went to go play the Packers, it was like, yo, bro, we going to get them everything we got. F that. Bro, we were playing in Detroit when Patricia's second to last year. We had like 4 wins, bro, or 2 wins. We were playing with third stringers and almost beat the Packers, who went to the NFC Championship game. We almost beat them the last game of the season. Why is that? Because the way that they was like, yo, F it, I ain't got nothing to lose. The pressure's on them. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So now it's like, we no longer are that anymore, bro. I remember Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, okay? Eddie Lacy, John Kuhn, Aaron Rodgers, and an all-pro offensive line. Every offensive lineman was an all-pro except for Balaga. And Balaga should have been an all-pro. That was our offense. And there was times we couldn't put up 12 points. There was nothing wrong with our guys. Just at the other team, they just knew like, yo, we got nothing to lose. That's a dangerous man, bro, who ain't scared to die. No cap. And everybody that we playing against, they not scared to die. They not. And that's why as soon as you see Jnr get the ball, you see like 8 niggas come from nowhere, bro. Like, where did the DBs come from?
Right.
But it wasn't like that his rookie year. And it was kind of like that last year. Tee's been getting hurt. Why? Because they've been trying to, T is like 6'4". They've been hitting him. He been getting hit. Bro, when we played the Vikings that first game, I said this is going to be a game. And when it wasn't, I'm like, yo, the Vikings ain't show up. Because that's not the same Vikings that I've seen shut down Aaron Rodgers. But even when, remember, Devontae Adams said this, oh, man, that ain't the same old Bengals. That lets me know, bro, they didn't come in there expecting any type of game. This is, all right, it's the Bengals, let's win. Especially, this ain't the Vontaze perfect Bengals no more either. Right. People were scared of the Bengals defense. Gina, bro, that's part of the reason why I signed here, because I knew that culture. Notice, when I left Green Bay, I went to the Lions. People used to be scared of Sue and Fairley and them. Then I left, I went to the Bengals. People were scared of Gina. I wanted to be part of that culture because Green Bay didn't really kind of have that scary defensive culture. I wanted to see what that's like. Right. And realistically, the hard part of upkeeping that is when your offense is humming. When your offense is humming, the defense, they got to stay at it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Luan Arumo does a great job with keeping them rolling, man.
Ace, I wanted to ask you this. Ace, you do the AFC North channel. Do you feel like the people that are on the panel with you, the viewers that are in there, guys, the Ravens fans that follow you in the comment section in here, do you feel like the respect level for the Bengals has gone up, or is it just more snarky BS where they just acting like the Bengals ain't really a big deal? Have you seen that change?
I think they feel like with us struggling, it brings us closer down to them. I think it is a lot of snarky stuff. I think they did respect us and they were trying to figure out a way to stop us, but they kind of were preying on our downfall as well. So I would say it's a mix of both. But Mike, I think you're the perfect person to talk to, bro, because you were on the Aaron Rodgers team in 2014 when he had the calf issue. They're dealing with this right now. You're the perfect person to talk to. How can they figure out this calf situation with Burrow, bro?
Ain't nothing to figure out. Everybody got to play better. Period. See, one thing that we fell into 2013, Aaron got hurt collarbone. We somehow survived without him until the last game against the Bears. He came back. We needed to win that to go to the playoffs. It came down to the last play where he bombed it up and Randall Cobb caught it. Everybody was celebrating. I'm sitting there like, yo, this game shouldn't have been that close. What the hell are we celebrating for? Yo, Aaron's back. You do realize we're a whole football team, right? This is the Packers, not the. And I love Aaron, don't get it twisted. But I think, once again, that's what the Patriots did so great. It was the Patriots. It wasn't Tom Brady. It was the Patriots. This is something that has started happening in Cincy. We got a little too reliant on Joe being a magician. See, Aaron became a magician, but then other people picked it up. Oh, bro, there was times where I watched Aaron sit in the pocket for 12 seconds.
That's crazy.
See what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, Joe is who he is. Jamar's who they are. But, bro, we can't let it be they had a bad – yo, listen, we got to be able to win a game if the offense only scores 9 points. You got to be able to win. If the offense only scores 12 points, got to be able to win. And that's everybody included. I'm not saying the defense ain't doing their job. I'm not saying special teams ain't doing their job. What I'm speaking to is just the numbers of it, bro. Listen, Russell Wilson, there's a lot of talk between the Marshawn and Russell thing going on. At the end of the day, Marshawn and that defense kept Russell alive, bro. Period. And that's why I said Lou has done a great job with that defense. But them guys got taken upon themselves like, yo, listen. That's why I said DJ's the most important guy on that team. DJ don't care about sacks. He don't care about tackles for loss. DJ cares about kicking ass. That's why they did so great against the Titans the last 2 games. DJ takes that personal. Period. And when everybody takes it personal, think about your favorite Bengals teams, bro. They listen. They got good players, but need some more nastiness. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You know, need a little bit of perfect. Need a little bit of what's my man Pac-Man? Need some of that Carlos arrogance, like, you know, and then you can get your silent killers like your Genos, bro. Right. See what I'm saying? And right now, Geno or DJ exemplifies that, right? And everybody has to rally around him because he's got the right attitude. Remember, Brian Cushing was his linebacker. Cush was crazy as hell. Cush was his linebacker. Cush is who raised him, right? He played with J.J. Watt, who's also crazy as hell. He played with Whitney Merciless, who's a dog. Jonathan Joseph, the DB, who was a monster. So he knows what that looks like. See what I'm saying? And everybody has to look and say, yo, all due respect, Joe, it's about us. We need to win this game. Period.
You know what?
Period. I love Joe, but I'm saying you got to be like, yo, man, listen. And I started saying this in Green Bay, and I think that's probably why they got rid of him. I was like, yo, we need to start winning. We need to win for Aaron. We can't rely on Aaron all the time. I was going in 2 years. But I'm just saying, it's like, you know.
I think I might have told you this on the phone, too. Zac Taylor was asked a question this past week. And they said, is Joe Burrow going to play? And like before he looked like, yeah, he's going to play. It's almost like he didn't understand that Joe Burrow is like, I know he knows he's injured, but he's treating his team and he's treating the message like all the messages are like Joe Burrow's just going to come out there and save them. And every week I get on the show. Now you said it a lot better than I have, every week I get on the show without saying like F Joe Burrow, I'm like, bro, they got to lean on the defense. They got to lean on the run game. Like all that Joe Burrow shiesty stuff is dead right now. Like, what, like, does that fall on the head coach? Is that Lou Anarumo? Like, what is that? Why is everybody in the building not feeling that?
That's the entire building, bro. Like, and the locker room is the most important part. Who going to say something to Joe? See what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of how hierarchy works, right? But there has to be that, like, yo, Joe, we got you. We got you. Just breathe, baby. We got you. When Aaron busted his leg up, and I watched it, Sue stepped on his leg, so his leg was already messed up, and it got worse, right? But we was like, yo, Aaron, we got you. Went out there, and then Dez called it. Dez ain't catch it. We beat the Cowboys. Then the next game, 2014, bro, we were spanking the Seahawks, but we were struggling to score in the red zone, but we were killing the Seahawks, and all of a sudden, it unraveled. You know what I mean? But we weren't used to taking that on our shoulders. If we were used to taking it on our shoulders, we win that game. But defense and special teams, we weren't used. We finally stepped into a role we weren't used to, and eventually our gas ran out. Because for years we weren't used to that. But we stepped up when needed. And quite frankly, as soon as the Bengals step up with that, yo, Joe, we don't care if you don't play, bro. We got this. As soon as that attitude gets taken, then you can afford. Remember, watch that last year's Super Bowl. That Chiefs defense, they weren't the Chiefs defense that won against the 49ers. They ain't the same. But if you watch the way them boys played against the Eagles, bro, every play, it was like 4 or 5 kill shots on the running back or the receiver. And I'm like, yo, it's like I'm watching Chris Jones, great player, does not play the run. Right? In the Super Bowl, Chris played the run. Because he understood, yo, forget my sacks. It's about me lining up and kicking ass on the defensive line because my quarterback hurt. Forget my stats. I'm going to blow shit up. You heard? That's what his mindset was. And that's what Sanders' mindset was. That's what Dunlap's mindset. Remember, Dunlap don't like playing the run. He played in the Super Bowl because they all came with that smoke. That Chiefs defense, I ain't going to hold you. If that's the Chiefs defense, the Bengals play in that championship game, I don't know how well they Bengals play in that game. That Chiefs defense was different in the Super Bowl because they knew our quarterback's hurt. And if Chase Daniels got to play, we don't care. We stepping up. You see the way Pacheco was running the ball? And he from around my way, baby. You see how he was running the ball? He's like, yo, I got to score every time I get it. You see what I'm saying? Now, Mix got that in him. We know Mix got that in him. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm making is that when you watch the way the Chiefs go, rewatch that Super Bowl. Watch the first couple series. Bro, Trey Smith punched Fletcher Cox in the face and knocked his helmet off.
Wasn't playing with him.
They weren't playing with none of them. I watched the right tackle, not Brown, but the other tackle. Body slam Hassan Reddick, bro, and laid on him. I didn't see them play like that all year. But they was like, yo, Pat is hurt. We need to bring some extraness. So you asking me what would I be saying to the team? That would be my message. Yo, everybody. Honestly, we should be able to throw Zach in that quarterback right now because we all playing so elite. We don't care. Put somebody's grandma in quarterback. We don't care. And that's the attitude that the old Bengals had with Burfict and all of them. See what I'm saying? That's the attitude that Marshawn and that defense had. And Russell was good enough to win. That's the attitude that we adopted for a game and a half in Green Bay in 2014. See what I'm saying? And that's the attitude that Bill Belichick's Patriots lived with. That's why he was able to rotate a bunch of nameless gray faces, as you know, Mike Tomlin says about guys.
For sure. Now, I know you're saying the defense, but it also sounds like you're saying the offense needs to step it up, and the Bengals shouldn't be 32nd right now in the league in scoring or not giving any kind of points to the defense or offense at all. How do you feel about that, man? Because 3 points in 2 games and all of these 3 and outs is kind of crazy.
3 touchdowns total in 4 games.
So once again, it comes back to like that veteran presence. I can only go back to what I remember, 2021. Yeah. In them moments, that's when you had Spain, Suafilo, Reeve. I mean, so when you had guys on the sideline like, hey, yo, that shit don't mean nothing. Let's pick it back up. Right? I will watch a young O-lineman. I watch like Carmen give up a sack, and I go to him on the best, like, hey, man, flush that shit, bro. Let's go. That don't mean ill. Everybody gets beat. Let's go, baby. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying, bro? Like, but that veteran, that's why that vet is so important. And, you know, that's what I would tell the guys there now, like, yo, like, keep picking the guys up, bro, no matter what happens. Because you want them to have an arrogance, bro. I used to get double teamed like 3 yards downfield sometime and be like, yo, great job, fellas. It took 2 of y'all to block me. Good thing my linebacker still got a 1 yard loss. Keep double teaming me, though. I don't need to make a play. Good job. The fuck they head up. They messed their head up. Dez Bryant was killing Ladarius Gunner, and I love Gunn. We had a free agent dude, a rookie free agent had to play against one-on-one against Odell, Dez Bryant, and Julio Jones in 3 games straight in the playoffs. And when Dez Bryant caught that touchdown on him, he did his X. I'm like, yo, great job, Dez. You just killed our number 6 corner. Good work, baby. Like, you got to get in people's heads, bro. And I love Dez. Dez is a phenomenal player. He's an anime fan. That's my homie, dog. He a class of 07. We got the best football players, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, I rock with Dez, but I'm just saying when it comes to that, you got to have that kind of like snarky, kind of like, hey, yo, great job. Good job. Wonderful. You just double teamed me 3 yards downfield. I'm glad it took 2 of y'all to be able to do it because one of y'all I'm busting that. Good job. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the mental game of the game.
You sound like
you
me
see what I'm saying?
Twitter. That's how I am on Twitter, Mike.
Yeah.
they like Zen. Why you keep on still talking? I'm like, bro, like I'm not tripping off none of that. We gotta end this. Hey, look, bro, you could come on this joint every week and get us like, bro, it's lit. It's too lit. But I just you know, like when you say that, you know, it does upset me a little bit though. A lot, actually a lot. When you speak with passion like that and you're very, very adamant about this is the mindset that has to happen. And then we watched Joe Burrow for the first 4 weeks being hurt. And then the offensive line, I watched them get crushed like this past week. And I'm just like, why they not? They should be sprinting over picking them up. They should be like uplifting Joe. They should be telling Joe, stop dropping back, Joe. I got you. And I've been saying that, like, you know, Mix, that's my boy. I'm like, man, like, you know, like, he like, man, I just got to do what the coach is telling me. And, you know, and I'm like, but you got to tell Joe, like, I got your back. And he like, yeah, I know Joe knows that. And it just upsets me that, like, the coaching staff and the people that are around the situation aren't really saying what you don't have to say it the way that you're saying it to get the point across to everybody. Like, everybody might not receive the message that you're saying, but I hear it loud and clear. It's that, bro, like y'all got to stop living off of what got you there and what you're comfortable with doing. And all 53 guys got to be able to say, you know what? I'm about to turn this up. I'm about to go and do my thing, because if I don't, like, we're all cooked. And I feel like there's a lot of people in the building that feel like, oh, I mean, it's going to come. And to me, that makes me mad. And I watch them let Joe Burrow get killed like every single week. Even in the games where I'm like, we dominated the Rams, there are shots and hits that he took, like in that game, even from Aaron Donald and stuff. I'm just like, bro, get a penalty. I'm ripping Aaron Donald's face mask off. I'm getting a personal foul as long as they don't touch Joe, and I'm not seeing that, and that makes me mad.
And to close it out, right? That's part of like that. Like, yo, F you attitude that the Bengals have always been known for, right? And there's a way you handle success. When you got a persona as a defensive player, yeah, what did the Bengals do when they played Johnny Money after every sack and all that? What happened the first game of the season after Cam Newton had his Superman season? They tried to kill that man, get week 1, bro. The Thursday night football, bro. See what I'm saying? So I'm like, when you got a persona, I don't know how you say the word, but when you got like that, he Joe Shiesty. Yo, why do you think Mike Tomlin gave that whole team black Air Forces last year? Because it was like, yo, F that. Yo, let's get at, yo, they think they somebody? Nah, we big brother. I don't care how bad we are.
They tried to kill.
Bro, Joe been getting smacked. Listen. The Super Bowl run, he got sacked. Listen, he got sacked a lot in the Super Bowl year. Most sacked quarterback damn near in history, right? But this year, he's getting smacked. I'd rather you give up 20 sacks than get 5 smacks. He's getting smacked because teams are like, oh, you Joe cool, huh? All right, well, we gonna melt that cool ice. Because as a defensive player, that's our mentality. Like, yo, bro, who is he? Oh, all right, bet. All right, bet. I got something for that. But see, my thing is, I don't think nobody's telling him that. Like, yo, you know, people want to kill you because you're the man. They don't just want to beat you; they want to beat you up. Once again, notice how as soon as Jamar catch the ball, there's like 7 niggas come out of nowhere. What? You know what I mean? Tee Higgins get the ball. What? Yo, he's tall. He's standing straight up. Hit him in the ribs, bro. That's why the last 2 years, T has gotten banged up more than he ever has because teams are hitting him. Joe Mixon, they're trying to annihilate him. Oh, no, he's not going to do the little Bay Area dance on us. Not today. And that's the mentality of defenses, bro. When you doing it like that, defense is like, yo, the better you are, that's more food you is to me. Right. Oh, that's the sauce on the food I want to eat. Perfect. And that's just how I'll go for defense, bro. So if that message gets to them, like, yo, you know, guys really coming at y'all, I think once they really understand it, I think a couple guys understand it, but I think once that's really driven into their heads, like, you guys are the big fish, and people are going to give you their best shot. Remember, don't think you beat the Ravens and threw for like 1,000 yards in 2 games. You don't think they weren't going to respond at some point?
They ain't like that.
You see what I'm saying? Oh, my bad. We just beat the hell out the Rams on Monday night because we didn't forget that Super Bowl loss from 2 years ago.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you coming through, bro. You brought the fire.
You already know.
We need somebody send this to the locker room, man. They need to hear this.
Hey, look, the audio for this, Ace, we gotta play this in the Twitter spaces and everything like that. We about to turn up with this. I'm taking this audio around the country. I'm about to take
Mike,
this to
you're
Arizona.
definitely welcome back anytime, bro. We'd love to have you on again throughout the season.
Man, no doubt.
Appreciate
We'll all have to go and get some chili out there in Cincinnati for a game or something, man. You know,
we got something better for you. We got a sponsor of the show. I would love for you to come through. It's called Best Barbecue. Ace, run the beautiful footage.
Let's get it.
Keep us up on that Bengals news. And when they get it, Midwest Rescue
Shout out to Midwest Best Barbecue 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. We're gonna have to get them right with Mike as well. They releasing tomorrow the honey hot lemon pepper dry rub wings. That sound. See, look at Mike. Yes. Yeah, bro. They got the grippo wings, the brisket. They got it all, man. Midwest Best Barbecue. Let them know Ace and Zim sent you.
Word.
Mike, yes, we normally will have guests and then we'd be like, peace out. Let me tell you this. This is crazy. I want you to close out the show. You got something that you just want to tell anybody? Actually, are you working on anything right now that we should know about?
Not nothing in particular. Not now. But when I do, I'm gonna let my Who Dey Nation know. Let my Who Dey Nation know, bro. You know the one I'm coming through is you first.
Hit me, bro. We got look, we're gonna link on some stuff. I got you.
No doubt.
The universe is calling us to go and cook some people. But
you a real one, baby. Y'all some real ones. You and Ace real.
Yeah, Mike, you the realest. So I want you to talk to the people. You got anything that you want to close out the show? You got any advice? It doesn't even have to be football. Anything that you just want to spread on anybody? Anything on your mind right now?
Yeah, I'll say this, man. Keep God first, number one. Number two, man, no matter how bleak it looks, if you weren't built for it, you wouldn't be going through it. You know what I mean? Just stay positive. As it sounds, it's easier said than done, but stay positive. Stay positive, man, because you don't want to get too high on your highs and too low on your lows. You'll stay right here, even with it. That way you can enjoy the highs and you can roll with the lows, bro. And that's the best I got for now.
I got a book I want everybody to read. It's called The Four Agreements. It's a really, really good read. Kind of speaks to what Mike is talking about, being impeccable with your words, not taking anything personally, and being very positive with everything. We don't really talk non-football too much on here that often, but Mike said that is a book I want everybody to check out. It's like $5 on Amazon. Real quick read. Mike, you will love it if you haven't already read it.
No doubt. Text me the link for it, man. I'm going to go ahead and cop it tonight.
You're going to love it. I'm telling you, watch this.
Yes, sir.
No doubt.
Ace, what you got?
I was just going to say thank you guys for rocking with us, man. The Wincinnati podcast comes to you live every Tuesday and Thursday, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate you guys for locking in. Mike, again, appreciate you for tapping in with us, bro. Let's go get this W in Arizona. Who Dey?
No doubt. Bless.
It's an exciting time to be a Bengals fan.
I'm Ace.
We got a special show as always.
The voice of the Bengals.
Dan
Ford, Willie Anderson, Corey Dillon.
The name of this thing is called Wincinnati, and I'm not going to stop.
Talk to us about that roller coaster season.
I'm still going to give you the same AJ.
I'm going to work as hard as I can to be the best.
Always working ever since I met y'all, boy.
I got to get your top 5 receivers.
Better, man. It was good. Watch out for us.